Now, you have an album coming out, right?
Children of the Rage.
Okay. Now, I mean, you've been dropping projects. Now, what's going to be different about this album than the mixtapes?
The mixtapes was, or I guess I'd say are, because I got another one coming. The mixtapes are more of flashes of my total being. Because the album is the only time I can put all of me in one project. But the mixtapes give you a varying degree of, if I was to only be a conscious rapper, I would sound like Breathe. If I was to only want to make bangers, it would sound like OG Maco or OG Zay. If I was to really just show you who I am all across the board, it would sound like 15 or Yep, what I did with Rome. You know, things like that. I want people to really be able to know that anything I'm doing is because I want to do it. And the album is the purest example of that. It's the pure, I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. I could go and do these 80 other things, but I would rather make these tonal harmonies. I would rather make this big grand song. I would rather take you on this epic adventure than to go and get the 808 and the random sound and make you another hit. You know, salute J. Cole. J. Cole just went ridiculous without a single and no features. That's somebody showing you who they are. Fuck the history of everything going down. Fuck a greater cause. Fuck all that shit. What he showed you is who he is. And that's what I'm going for. You know, same with Big Sean. You know, he showed you who he is, where he got, you know, where he had to go through to even get there, and how he was really feeling about it through all those times. And that's the essence of a real artist.
I feel you. So, is there not going to be a lot of guest appearances on the album?
So far, it's only 2. And I plan on keeping it that way. I don't really need, my thing is all these big artists haven't reached out to me. The ones that have, like I said, it's been publicly known that we cool and we work together and, you know, stuff like that. But these artists haven't just been friendly to me. It hasn't just been like we've been getting calls and they're like, oh yeah, man, you know, come out here and come work with me because the music you're making is amazing. And I know, and it's not like these artists you can't treat in the same respect of normal people who might only go and hear 1 record of yours or 2 records of yours or 3 records of yours. Artists have to keep up with their competition. Whether they publicly acknowledge them in competition or not, they do have to keep up with them. So for me to know, it's just like Meek Mill dropped that How We Planned It on his Instagram. He dropped How We Planned It, the lyrics and everything on his Instagram. But I bet if you would have asked 80 people, do you think Meek Mill listens to OG Maco, they would have said, fuck no, that nigga don't listen to OG Maco. But of course he listens to me, just like I listen to him. One, we in the same, we yelling, both of us yelling. If for nothing else, he gonna find out who the fuck this dude is that's yelling like him. He been in jail all this time. Now some other yelling nigga on the block, who is that? You know what I'm saying? If for nothing else but that. But they haven't been just coming out of the woodworks to say they fuck with me or not even, and I'm not even talking publicly. I mean like literally hitting me or my manager up. So I haven't felt any need to go and try and put them on my shit. For what? If we ever meant to work together, we'll work together out of respect. I got everybody's shit on my phone. So whoever really, you know, is trying to put that pride aside and we make it happen, that's what I'm fucking with. But I ain't reaching out to nobody. I'm good.
If you look at hip hop and you look at like the history of it, right? And I've been around in hip hop since it pretty much started. There was, you know, like me and Special Ed got in this long conversation about how at one point, you know, a rapper would work with one producer, usually that was his DJ.
Right.
And they would come up with their shit together. And that was their shit. They didn't want no guest appearances. They didn't want no outside production.
Right.
That was their shit and their statement to the world.
Right.
But at one point, like for example, the big turning point was Nas Illmatic. That was the first super producer album. That was the first time a hot rapper got every hot producer to give them like their hottest beat, and then it was like a compilation of that.
Right.
And then these days it's like you gotta have guest appearances, you gotta have the hot producer or whatever else. Do you think that's kind of diluted the art form a little bit?
It has, and that's why we didn't do that. My entire tape is, album is produced in-house. You know, it's me and my engineer. My producers I came up with, like Deco, who just got signed to Warner. Parker. fresh produce, talk is cheap. And that's what we went with. You know, I'm not, because who knows you better than your people who are around you every day? Who is better suited to make the soundtrack to a soundtrack about your life? Who is better to do that than the people who actually watch you live that life every day? I'm leaving it in their hands. I'm not trying to go get, and much as I respect Sonny Digital and Zay and Metro and everybody, really, because that's a really, really long list. It's like, y'all just trying to get a hit, you know? And on the rare occurrences where you have that friendship, like with Metro and Future, you're going to always give the best shit to them. It's like with me and Zaytoven versus Zaytoven and Gucci. Free WAP. But if WAP wasn't locked up, me and Future wouldn't be getting these amazing beats from Zaytoven because Gucci would be getting the best of the best. We would still be getting amazing beats from Zaytoven because he's Zaytoven. But he's going to always give Gucci those first because that's his dog. And that's who he knows understands him like he understands him. You know, that's just how that goes.
What about the chances of a G-Unit, Dipset, and Lox tour? That would be epic. But so is Beyonce and Jay-Z.
I like that. I like you.
I'm not coming to you asking you for no crazy amount of money, which I know if we open up the books, it's there. You know what I'm saying? I'm basically calling you and be like, man, look, you need to give me something because you owe me.